What you're about to hear is a detailed version of us waiting for this mapped out battle plan trade that was over 90 points from where we closed last night. You're going to hear the discussion of if you were short, where your stops could be, where your take profits could be. Wait till we got down into the battle plan area, look to get long, and we made it to target. If you think this type of commentary would help your trading day in and day out, check us out at microstrader.com. We trade live on Zoom every day. It's a live price action workshop every single day, waiting for our battle plan trades. Take a listen about where we are at. It's just hard to want to go long at the top of the range. We have this obvious trend line here. We're coming in and bumping our heads against here now. Could this be where it turns around? It wouldn't be a shocker. But the bulls control in a tricky location. I'm not one to want to short when the bulls are in control. Call me crazy. So real interesting location. Which means, as I said, yesterday, I said, if I don't get a trade the next 2 days, I don't care. I want to trade when we're down in these locations. So we are against this high time frame trend line. Let's go back to just to recap. Where are we at? Number one question. We're against this trend line and we're against the top of this range. I'm sorry, this is just real difficult place to want to go long. And I can't go short because the bulls are controlling coming back into here. I don't know why we would break out really and continue going north, but it doesn't mean I need to go short. But if a person was wanting to do some sort of longer dated option play of rotating back to down to the bottom, you're at that trade location now. So I was hoping the NVIDIA candle would have came back in something like this, and then we would have crafted some new battle plans, but there's just nothing I'm interested in. And when you get a 2-day skyrocket like this, I think it's beneficial that I say, guys, there's nothing here. Or the trades are far away. I questioned myself last night. Am I cheating my members by not crafting new battle plan trades here? And I'm like, my goal is not to craft battle plan trades every day. My goal is to craft the highest probability battle plan trades when they exist. And so we had battle plan trades here. We had a continuation battle plan trade for this move. And now we've had 2 days of back-to-back. We've left a gap between the RTH sessions. And knowing that we're against the trend line, we're against up here, there's just no high probability trade here. And so I just said, it's not often that I don't craft battle plan trades, but I thought last night was it. I'm like, there's nothing here I'm interested in. Next eyeballs is what happens here. And if we reclaim the opening, that's a tough place to go long again. Sorry. You get to do you. I'm only the navigator. You are the pilot. NQ is now under the halfback. We just bounced off of our halfback. That level is always so fascinating to me. So if you took the halfback long, as we discussed for the aggressive, I would go to break even, or I would just put it 1 or 2 ticks under so it could double tap. Because double taps can be frustrating. So you got to be willing to take a paper cut stop loss if you want to survive a double tap. If that thing immediately runs 10 points or 5 points or more, we're in the red zone, so careful with longs. Green trade insured, in my opinion. All right. Back to the drawing board here. Strong. Halfback took the overnight low. Halfback bounce. This could be, since bulls control, that could be the low, and then there's a turnaround move to catch up with Dow, and that could just be what breaks us out to the north. So if you took this long here, either a paper cut stop or break even, or if you only did one contract, I think you make sure you capture part of it. Next eyeballs would be the overnight low, looking for it to drop down into here. Oops. I want an arrow, please. Drops down in here, maybe ladders back up over the half back to attack the opening. That would be a possible trade there. Would it be a shock if it came and tagged up right here with last week's high? It would not be. And Brett, you are correct. Sometimes the best trades is no trades. I really, the more my trading matures, the more I really favor trade location over everything. And this is not a trade location at this point I'm excited to take. Yesterday we were, because we had the magnet of getting to the top of that shorter time frame. We made it. Task accomplished. And now we need to sit back and wait for something new. So I'm not as excited about going long here because the long already played, in my opinion. And so now I need a really good reason to get into a trade. Pushing under the half back, and look at this. Jeez. I'm going to hang back and maybe I'll get something juicy. Who knows? We could drop 80 points and come into those battle plan trades. Probably been a good topic in the AM briefing, but I think I needed to hammer trade location in the AM briefing this morning. So that's what I chose. All right. So the next eyeballs are coming to the overnight low. Remember, the RTH session is just now digesting NVIDIA and, adjusting their portfolio of other related instruments based upon that. So, let's let it shake out. First eyeballs would be the overnight low. Then the next eyeballs comes down to last week's high, the purple dot, also denoted here. And if we get much further down, we'll bring up the battle plans. Bull still control. Just because you get a down move does not mean the bear's now in control. No, everything still says bull's control. First battle plan trade is still a ways away. But there could be opportunities along the way. We could come down here and test this VPOC, which would not be a shock. If I was to throw a magnet on here, that magnet would be at the VPOC. Fill the gap, get back up over that gap. That's a long. Bulls control. Shorts would be counter, small if at all. Jumping on the train short is a dangerous way to play when the bulls control. You'll take 1,000 losses and then you finally get a great one. And you go, see, I was right. If you do short when bulls control, treat it as a scalp that it probably is. And if you get great acceleration, if you're following at 50% or whatever percentage you pick, if you really start getting good vomiting, you're going to be just fine. You're going to have built-in cushion. Then you can start playing perfect chess. You might have to start playing perfect chess on a 30-second chart. Then as price goes further, you can go to a 1-minute chart. As price goes further, you go to a 3-minute chart. You with me? So treat it as a scalp until it proves that it's not a scalp. We're at this trend line. We're at the edge of the range. No one would be shocked if it rotated back to the bottom, but I can't prediction trade that. It is proven to be unhealthy. All right. So far we have not began a ladder back over the overnight low back towards the opening. We are in the red part of the range where longs are difficult. Locationally speaking, they need to work right away or I'm right out. So if you could have gotten short, which you'd have jumped on the train to do it. I would just have your stop above the half back here and now and let it go. Shorts are counter, but positionally speaking, we can't be shocked if they work out. All right, let's come on down to last week's high. Let's see what you're going to do here. Then we have Sunday's opening. We have the gap up and the VPOC. I could care less about it vomiting. I have zero FOMO. Missing a short when bulls control. Doing the shorting game when the bulls control can really wreck your psychology. Got to be a special person to do that. I'm not that special person. It's up to you. That's why I'm clearly pointing that out. And actually what I said too is that if you wanted to do an option play for a short to rotate back to the bottom of the range, it makes a whole lot of sense. And that's why I said this is a tricky location. Bulls control clearly, but look where we're at. And that's why my DOM is not loaded. Yeah, it's up to you whether or not you would want that to override everything. I said we made it to our target up here, so it wouldn't be a shock if we rotated back to the bottom. But I'd like a cleaner signature. In one way, you could say, well, it took the RTH high. This is real difficult to take into consideration. If this hadn't happened here, and this was the first time price grabbed that, we would drop in time frames and look for a short, wouldn't we? Or if it took this high, and I would have loved to have grabbed the IB high, this is really where I would have looked for a turnaround. I would have been much more aggressive in trading a short there. There was a 3-minute front side and backside short you could have taken if that's what you were looking for. Knowing the range rules are important. They certainly are. But I believe we've also seen many times countering the strength of the bulls is a very difficult task. So just do it with a small stop. Know that that was a trade on your punch card. If you did get short, I'd have that stop just behind the half back. And I would look to TP either at the gap or here at the VPOC that we just talked about. RTH only, certainly a strong ladder down. RTH only, certainly a strong ladder down. Yeah, let me pull up my strong levels. And right to the strong range. Absolutely beautiful. Can't complain with that, can we? So yesterday we were looking to go from here to here. We made it. Is it a shock? We're back to here. Nope. This is a very important level and an important area here. We get below here. It wouldn't be surprised if we fill the gap. I'm tagged up with the VPOC. Fill the gap or VPOC it. Once we ladder underneath here, move your stop to here from here. If you're short. I'm not short. DOM's not even open. I will open it. We get down to here. And underneath here, I'll start salivating. Nice strong range. We have spent 12 minutes here. It is strong range is doing what strong ranges do. Certainly like a pinball machine from here to here. That's cool. Below here, we got the Sunday opening, which is always important. I would love for it to please vomit down another 50 points. Bulls still control. They haven't lost it yet. It's impossible to say that they've lost it. We have a gap that they can't fill yet. That's for sure. And the main reason my trading platform wasn't open is because we're at a tricky trade location. Bulls control, but we're at the top of a range against a high time frame trend line here. Real difficult. I like easier trading locations. This is not an easy trade location. So I say no, thank you. Still evidence of laddering down in the RTH session. Lower highs, lower lows. We still got the gap fill down here. Let's look from the high to the low. It's 37 points. Okay. I'd like it to go another 37 points. You know, the next thing we'd watch for is it to take the previous day low. It's against a strong level and then reclaim basically what we traded yesterday. That would be another option. Come on, get down there. Get down there. Nice battle at the strong range. None of these levels are turnaround levels. My goodness. Come on. This is not the rapid vomiting you kind of hope for. The theme is bulls still control, but we're just at a real tricky location to be looking for longs. on this second time here. The first time, that was exactly what we were looking for. And now I really want a deeper retrace, or just consolidate for a day or so. You know what I mean? Like, give us some structure I can lean against. There's nothing I can lean against. The only things that are definite, in my opinion, is we have this gap up and we have this VPOC. Perfect places for price to tag up with. When a run moves too far, it often has to come back and retest. And those would be great retests. So now if you're short, we talked about having a stop behind the halfback. I would go ahead and move it here, with entertaining the thought of either exiting your complete trade at Sunday's opening or the gap fill or VPOC. You do you. You're the pilot of your trading aircraft. Come on, push down. All right, so we're at Friday's close. Sunday's opening's the next one. As I said, I would move your stop from the halfback down to here. Look at TP in at the Sunday opening, the gap fill, or the VPOCs. Man, if somebody at the opening did that option play, you did really well real quickly. All right, tagged up with Friday's close. We're at last week's high area. 15-point candle dropped into that zone. Now I would look for snappy ladder backing. If I love the 15-point candles when they drop into an area of interest. As contrary as it feels, bulls control. So if you were short, we were talking about having a stop here. And then as soon as we broke the strong range, move your stop there. Bulls control, so treat all shorts as scalps. The gap up is still holding. Boom, 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 boom. Let's break this, please. Show me you can not only bounce, but you can break something. See if it can reclaim this, break this, do something like this maybe. I have no clue, but that's what I'm going to look and wait for. The laddering down seems to be continuing. We have not had a second ladder to the north yet. We still have Sunday's opening, the gap fill, and the VPOC as obvious targets if they're going to push further down. If you were short from above, your stop should be here. If price gets there, that means it would have broken the trend line, right? Let's see a push through. Come back in, something like this. I have no clue if it will happen. I just know what I'm looking for. Sunday opening is here. That's the next target. So you were short and your stop is here. This would be the first place I would recommend a TP. Is at the Sunday opening. Then the next one is here, and the next one is here, depending on how you want to trade that. At this point, if you're short and you didn't TP, I would take your stop from here and I would move it here now. Move it behind this strong range. Either TP now at the gap fill or at the VPOC. And boy, if you did that option play, that thing probably really paid today. All right, coming into the gap fill. So that would be another optimal place to take a TP if you were short. If you're following price, I would have it here. Zero reaction at the gap fill. Next obvious target is here at the 04 area. And below there, we bring up battle plan trades. Okay. Which takes us to the bull bear line. All right, gap is gone. Gap is gone. Lower that. Build the gap. Bull bear scorecard firmly in the bears. The laddering down continued. It had an opportunity to break here, and boy, they failed. All right, filled the VPOC. Don't need you anymore. Come on down to the bull bear. Let's go, baby. We are back to the 2026 Open. My goodness. Beautiful. All right. At this point, I love the distance we've gotten from the trend line. I would be looking for strong level reclaims, or let's come on down to battle plan 1. When do you shift from bulls are in control to bears? When we ladder under an RTH low is the first sign. When we really ladder under an RTH low, and you could look at this. Let's go to a 3-minute chart. We are now under one of them. Okay. Remember, we had 2 days of straight up action. We had a gap. Well, we filled the gap. We tested the VPOC, and now we're under the 2026 opening. Now that we're in the middle, I would say we're in balance. So it never goes bull bear or bear bull. There's a point where you're back to balance. We're back in the middle. This puts us in the area of back to balance. Does that make sense? I'm not bull or bear. I am location wise. And if you watch the AM briefing in this morning, I said this would be a great place for an option play to rotate back towards the bottom. It doesn't mean I have to go short though. Because at this moment, bulls are still in control. Does that make sense, Kevin? At this point here, it is impossible to say bears control. Bulls control, but I know because of trade location, I don't even need my platform open. I'm not one that's always looking for a reason to short. I do have traders that short every day, no matter what price is doing. They just love shorts. But I know based off trade location and the bull's control, I'm not really interested in shorting, but I did mention that if you want to, this is the area to do it to rotate back to the bottom. But at this point, we're in the middle, and you'd have to say we are back to balance. Let's go to a 10-minute chart for a second. Let's zoom out for just a second. Let me remove all these strong levels. Let me remove that.
Bigger picture, single prints, ranges.
We're back into this. This is back to balance. So you're back to the muddy middle. And yesterday, when we were trading, Kevin, I told the group if you wanted to short, this is where I believe the short existed. Now that's real difficult to do on an NVIDIA candle, right? But knowing trade location is really critical. And when it starts vomiting like this, what do? Well, you can do what Caleb just did. You walk. You go, no, thank you. I'm not interested in this. And if you'll notice, my first battle plan trade of interest is here. This is the first place I mapped out I'm interested in a long. So based on yesterday's closing area, I needed a 90-point drop for me to be interested in trading. That doesn't mean I have to be short as it comes into it. Does that make sense? I don't have to be short. And if anybody is short, we were outlining stops, and where I think great TPs were. And if you're going to just play perfect chess, you're still short. All right, here we're coming into battle plan 1 zone. We are vomiting down. Any trade now is a strictly knife catch trade. 100% is a knife catch trade. But we are coming into battle plan area number 1 here. Can you believe it? Kevin, did any of that make sense? I spent 10 minutes explaining it. It's logical, but such a waste to choose to miss both sides when you say you're not bull or bear, when you really are. Well, go to a weekly chart or monthly chart on ES and tell me which way you should lean. I certainly lean long, and I wait for my trade locations. I don't have to ever short ES. You can. And I'm clearly good at outlining where those exist. Just because I don't do it doesn't mean you can't do it. I offer a delightful counter to people who always want to be short. All right, we're coming into battle plan 1 zone where we're looking for a possible ladder back long. We are vomiting. All entries are counter, small if at all. If you're still short, I would just be following behind strong levels at this point. So we're coming into battle plan 1. I'm going to go ahead and drop to a 1-minute chart here. This is an area of interest. Had to wait for it to drop 90 points to get here. At battle plan 1, we dropped into the zone. All right, still in the battle plan 1 zone, looking for laddering up. First ladder longs are dangerous. They are to be done small if you take them, or wait for the second ladder. Second ladders are account saving in this type of environment, because if this is a vomit day from bell to bell, you'll never take a trade. You will never take a second ladder trade. The characteristics of a vomit day is there are no second ladders. Steve covered. Very nice, buddy. Very nice. So very happy so far with battle plan 1 area. We had to wait 91 points for it to get here. Okay, I would like it to now keep this fair value gap open and not go any lower than 81. Every little wick down and a pop back up with aggression, I am interested in. We are at battle plan 1 area. The laddering down still is continuing. Nice battle here right near the bull bear line. Nice battle location here. Laddering down is continuing. Longs are dangerous, as discussed in the AM briefing, that if you take longs, don't let them go against you. Nice battle here. And remember, 1 out of every 10 days, there's going to be a vomit day bell to bell. And if you wait for second ladders, I'm telling you, that is account saving. If you take first ladders, you've got to be quick and going, no, thank you. It needs to work right away, or just get out and wait for the next entry. It's a beautiful, beautiful pullback back into the middle. All right, at the bull bear line now. Laddering down continues. If you're waiting for a second ladder, you still have not pulled the trigger on a trade. If we clear the bull bear line, we'll bring up the next battle plan trade. And we see on vomit days, sometimes it traverses several battle plan trades, and you just wait. When you get the price action that works in your favor, cool. Very nice. I like that snappy reaction there. Every time it makes a new low with a snappy, I'm interested in watching, especially when they're in my battle plan locations. Beautiful. $77 to $76. If it pulls back in, would be a first ladder. The 77, 76 would be the first ladder off of like the bull bear line bounce. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. If you got in there, be protective now. Move your stop to break even. Hands off the mouse. You know, one of the things we talk about too is that if you're in a trade, so let's say you were short there and you come into a battle plan location. I mean, I can't predict this is where it's going to turn around, but not a horrible place to take a profit as well is right at the next battle plan location that has it going the other direction, because we're really good at this. So if you're long, try to stay long. Yep. Yep. Absolutely, Pappy. Nice job. So if you're long, you're either following at 50%. If you did it with 3 contracts, take them off here at 20, keep a single runner back. So you capture 20 points, 20 points. You're up 40 points with a lotto runner. I mean, that is as beautiful as it gets. That's what we do. That is what we do. Nothing to do now. Absolutely nothing to do now. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. So Kevin, did I waste my time? So now I'm just going to speed it up. So trading is nothing more than a lot of waiting for your trade setup to happen, getting into your trade, and then a lot of waiting while you wait for that trade to play out and hold your runner. Once you're in the trade, there's nothing to do other than stay out of the way and let price going to do what price is going to do. And if you're following our 3 contract system, you will just continue to play perfect chess for as long as you can, because you never know how far price is going to go. Now, in this case, price made it right to our target and then pulled back in. But you already made your money. You're only in a lotto runner. Your day is done. You close your platform, come back tonight and look at the new set of battle plan trades and wait for those to happen again. And of course, we'll do it together live on Zoom every day. Thanks for being a member, and thanks for watching.
Get tomorrow's trades tonight at microstrader.com and click Battle Plan.